Okay, last night I was able to get together the chair with some altered pieces here in the back. And what I realized while putting this together is that these can stay as is, or I can move them back down. I think I'm not sure. I may, you know me, I do lots of different versions. The big thing that struck me is that for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 piece, not including, I just used some doubled up 3mm thick gray board scraps for this. So this is a 6mm foot here, and I like it because it gives it a nice wide kind of footprint. That this piece and this piece do not need to be separate. They can be the same piece, because it was, as I was gluing these together, I'm like, I really, what is the reason for needing this? And my overarching reason was because I wanted it to feel like the arms had something that was connected and the same. And, my aha moment was, I can just make this the same piece, and then when I'm working on the color version, these can be, I can drop a line in here and these can be the same. There's absolutely no need for these to be two different pieces. So, that being said, I'm going to go through and alter a little bit of a pattern, and I'm going to try another one, mostly because I want you to look here. This one here, can you see how wildly off I am? I'm off by like 2.5 millimeters here. And that's the reason it didn't go together as nicely as I would like it to go together. Because I'm doing things a little different. Let me see, I'm going to pull this over here. Whereas, pull this, really doesn't want to come out. Come on. With this chair, I had a template that I traced around. It's a really simple template. And then gradually things are getting a little bit more complicated. But for this piece in particular, I made pattern pieces that I could simply trace around. Now, yes, this makes these a little wonky. However, it does allow me to get a better feel for what the actual piece is going to be like in the real world, if that makes any sense. And it allows me, because sitting down and drawing these by hand, even though I kind of know what I'm doing, it takes a while. Like, this is the back piece where I changed that angle there. So when you look here, and I just use this scrap piece, this is a tab, it doesn't need to be huge. So I kind of squashed it onto here, and this is the top part. So I know where all the basic stuff is, although I really need to put in a center line there. I sometimes do adjust these a bit, and I know with the curves, when I trace those, I erase them back out and then pull in a curves template for the rounded corner. This is the medium one, and you can see this is the one I've been using. The ones on the bottom have not been used yet. They kind of start to wear down a little bit, so I have to take that into consideration. So something like this I can cut out really quickly and very easily. Then, okay, this is that bottom part that I made, that now I'm going to take, where'd it go? I'm going to take this piece, the bottom curved section, because you can see what the pieces look like. Because these go in, this goes up, get this out of the way. This goes up, this goes up. The one thing I'm also working on when I'm doing this is the sequence. Like, I need to have these glued together. These need to be glued in first. Then I can put the supports in. And then I can begin. The last thing that is glued down is this end piece. This is the second to last piece. So I'm doing some of that. This piece is what the outsides look like with the curve. I have this here because I think it's this line here, but I always like to have a little extra just in case. So while I'm working, these, if this were paper only, these would come into play. However, they need to be cut down to, I think these are at 1 centimeter wide. They need to be more like 6 to 7 wide, because this piece here is only 9 millimeters wide. This arm piece is only 9 millimeters wide. Because I also have pieces in here, like, let's see, is this the, that's the curved one, that's the curved one. I have some pieces in here that are do not use. This was the original back of the chair template that was measured out at 7. When I thought for some reason I was going to take this, because this is still something I could do, this piece can go all the way down and I can shorten these others. That would solve a lot of problems back here. So I'm still kind of messing around with that. Also, I think listening, this is a pretty heavy piece of furniture, and I'm not liking that. I think that it needs to be lightened up a bit, and I think by removing some of the weight with this bottom piece and fusing these two, that's going to lighten it up quite a bit. I also had the idea, okay, oh, I took them away. Do you remember the wooden beads? That's another option, because these are a little heavy as well. That's another option. So I really kind of have to make some decisions about, you know, if I do this, I could do this version with the longer one that comes all the way down and hits this. But if I do, or comes all the way down, like the piece comes all the way down and goes here, and then this piece, which is then fused, simply goes in as one piece. That's an option too, because that would take care of keeping this and this edge the same, and then I don't have to fiddle with another one in here, which might be the way to go, because then I won't have to create an alternate back piece to go on here. Yeah, my I think 9/10 of my reasoning for making these videos is so I can talk myself through something. And I still would like to make a version that is straight and maybe a little lower, something that's a little bit more, whereas this is more Art Deco. I'd like to make something that's a little bit more pre-mid-century modern, late 50s going into mid-century modern. I had a couch and an armchair that I bought secondhand that were very late 50s, that had kind of this kind of low aesthetic and kind of a, what I call almost a Berber kind of covering with that like loop, but it was kind of soft. But yeah, I think that would solve so many problems. If I just did this as the long piece and it came all the way down, then all you'd have to do is glue this and this to this, and you could glue them essentially down like that, and then add the piece in the middle, this piece in the middle. Oh man. Okay. Seeing as I've kind of gone all over the place here, I think the only part of this pattern that's going to stay the same is going to be the arms. But I guess, you know, that's why you do experimentation. So I think I'm going to give, okay. I've got the angle where I want it. I just need to figure out this piece, if it's going to be longer, and these pieces would be shortened instead of being longer. I think I was thinking I wanted the base of the chair to be more sturdy. And that's, yeah. Okay, I think I'm going back to the drawing board today. Yeah. Okay. It looks like it's going to be a fourth version. Okay, it's more complicated. I'm going to do a fourth version, which then means I'm going to need to sort some of this stuff out and make some sketches. I'm really glad, though, that I did this version because I finally kind of figured out what I wanted to do with these tabs. And I, at least out of all of this, I have one working pattern. Like one working pattern piece I don't need to redesign. So that can stay. Actually, two. If I go ahead and use, this is the, I wrote do not use, this is the back of the chair. So if this is the template for the back of the chair, yeah, I've got this piece. I can still, I'm going to do a redraw on it, I think, because I want some things to flip around here. I want this piece and the tab I want down here on this bottom. It works better for functionality because it works a lot like, where's the one that I was using? You can see here on this one where when I fold everything together, having this have the ability to come up is a lot better than this coming down, if that makes any sense. Okay, I'm going to go away and draw things now. Let's give this the Maudie LA. Let's see if Maudie LA thinks. Okay. Okay, put her little arm up on here as an armchair. Okay. Huh. Huh. Hey, she can stand right up right next to her. Yeah. I kind of like that. That's a good size for Maudie LA. I think an excellent size for Maudie LA. Yeah. Okay then. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you, patrons, for sticking with me, and I will see you in the next video.